Somewhere right now, money is moving, a salary is landing, a card is being tapped, a share is changing hands, a shipment is clearing a port, and in almost every one of those moments, a company you rarely think about is taking a tiny slice. Not because it made the product, not because it did the work, but because it owns the road the transaction had to travel on. The most profitable business model in history doesn't make anything. It doesn't sell anything you'd recognize. It just stands between two parties who need each other and charges a toll so small that nobody bothers to argue. Today, I want to show you how to see these businesses, because once you see them, you can't unsee them, and you'll stop looking at markets the same way. Picture an actual toll booth on a bridge. It didn't build the cars, it doesn't care where you're going, it doesn't care if you're rich or broke, whether the economy is booming or bleeding. If you want to cross, you pay. $1 here, 50 cents there, multiplied by every car, every hour, every day, forever. Now translate that into business. A toll booth company is any business that positions itself on a route that economic activity must pass through and takes a percentage of the flow, not a fee for effort, a fee for position. The genius is in the word must. The toll booth doesn't compete for your business. The road decides for you. Here's why this matters more than almost any other idea in investing. Products die. Every product you love right now, the phone in your hand, the car in your driveway, the app you opened this morning, is in a knife fight. Someone, somewhere, is working nights to make it obsolete. Product companies have to win over and over again, forever, just to stand still. Roads don't work like that. Once a route becomes the standard way value moves, the standard payment rail, the standard exchange, the standard registry, displacing it means convincing everyone to switch at once. Not one customer, everyone simultaneously. That almost never happens. So while product companies fight for every sale, toll booths collect on every sale, including the sales of the companies trying to kill each other. When two giants go to war, the toll booth gets paid by both armies. Once you start hunting for toll booths, you'll notice they cluster into 4 families. I call them the 4 tolls: the toll on movement, the toll on trust, the toll on standards, and the toll on attention. Every durable toll booth in the economy, everyone, is charging at least one of these 4. The best ones charge 2 or 3 at once. Let's walk through them one by one. And as we do, I want you to start asking yourself a question. In my own life, which booths did I pay today without noticing? The first toll is on movement, value in motion. Every time money travels from one pocket to another, it rides on rails somebody owns. Card networks are the purest example in existence. They don't lend the money, they don't hold the money, they don't take the credit risk. They simply own the pipe, and they skim a fraction of a percent from trillions in flow. The banks compete, the merchants compete, the network just counts cars. The same logic applies to physical movement. Railroads, pipelines, ports, canals. You can't reroute a pipeline out of spite. You can't build a competing canal because the fees annoy you. The geography, physical or digital, has already been claimed. The test for a movement toll is simple. Does the business get paid when things move, regardless of what's moving or why? If yes, you've found booth number 1. The second toll is on trust. Here's a fact about markets that never changes in any century under any technology. Strangers cannot trade at scale without a referee. Somebody has to verify who owns what, whether the books are honest, whether the counterparty will actually deliver. So an entire class of businesses gets paid not for moving value, but for vouching for it. Ratings agencies get paid to grade debt. Auditors get paid to bless the books. Custodians get paid to hold assets so nobody can run off with them. Exchanges get paid to guarantee that when you buy, someone actually sells. Notice something strange about trust tolls. The customer often hates paying them, resents the gatekeeper, complains about the fee, and pays anyway, because the alternative is trading blind with strangers. Resentment, it turns out, is not a business risk. Only alternatives are, and trust has very few. The third toll is the most invisible and maybe the most powerful, the toll on standards. Whoever writes the rules of a game gets to tax everyone who plays it. Think about index providers. They don't manage your money. They publish a list, a definition of what counts as the market, and then trillions of dollars legally bind themselves to track that list, paying licensing fees for the privilege. A list. That's the product. Operating systems work the same way. Build the standard everyone's software must run on, and every developer on Earth pays you rent in one form or another. App stores took it further. A fixed percentage of everything sold inside a world they define. Standards tolls are the hardest to attack because the customers themselves enforce them. Nobody wants to be the only one using a different measuring stick. The standard survives because everyone assumes everyone else will keep using it. That assumption is the moat, and it's made of pure belief. The fourth toll is the newest, and it's the one this century added, the toll on attention. In a world of infinite options, the scarce resource is no longer the product. It's being found. Marketplaces and platforms don't make what they sell. They stand at the point where buyers begin their search and charge sellers for visibility. A take rate on every marketplace sale, an auction for every search result, a cut of every booking, every ride, every listing. The seller does the work. The platform owns the moment of discovery. Guess who has the pricing power? Attention tolls are the most profitable of the four when they work, and the most fragile. Because attention, unlike a pipeline, can move. Which brings us to the real question. How do you tell a fortress toll booth from a temporary one? Here are the 5 tests. Run any business through them. 1. Is it genuinely unavoidable or just convenient? Convenience gets competed away, necessity doesn't. 2. Is the toll tiny relative to the transaction? A fee small enough that fighting it costs more than paying it is a fee that never gets negotiated. The deadliest tolls are measured in basis points. 3. Does revenue scale with traffic, not effort? A toll booth earns the same whether it employs 50 people or 5,000. If doubling revenue requires doubling headcount, it's a service business wearing a costume. 4. Do both sides of the transaction pay, or would both sides suffer if the booth vanished? The strongest booths are load-bearing for buyer and seller alike. 5. Is the toll priced into habit? When paying it feels like weather, just a condition of doing business, not a decision. The booth has won 5 for 5, and you're looking at one of the most durable economic machines humans have ever built. Now here's the uncomfortable part. If these businesses are so good, why isn't everyone talking about them? Because boring is the strategy. A toll booth's survival depends on nobody being angry enough to build a bypass. So the smart ones stay quiet. They don't chase headlines. They don't want to be a story. The ideal toll is one the payer never consciously registers. Meanwhile, the financial entertainment industry, and let's be honest, that's what most market content is, needs drama. It needs revolutionary products, visionary founders, 100% moves. A company that skims a sliver of a percent off a river of transactions, year after year, decade after decade, makes terrible television, which creates a quiet, permanent gap. The businesses easiest to get excited about and the businesses built to survive are usually not the same businesses. The crowd watches the cars. The patient watches the booth. Nothing is immortal, so let's be honest about the 2 ways toll booths die. The first is regulation. A toll booth is functionally a private tax, and governments are jealous of taxation. When a toll grows large enough and visible enough, the state eventually shows up and caps it, splits it, or takes a piece. Watch for the moment a toll becomes a political talking point. That's the beginning of the negotiation. The second is quieter and far more dangerous. The road moves. Traffic finds a new route, and the booth stands there, perfectly maintained, collecting from a road nobody drives. Every fallen gatekeeper in history died this way, not defeated on its own road, but bypassed by a new one. The telegraph didn't lose to a better telegraph. So the discipline is this. When you own a toll booth, you don't watch its competitors. You watch the traffic. The day the flow starts finding another route, even a trickle, is the day the clock starts. So here's the shift I want to leave you with. Most people look at the economy and ask, what are people buying? What's the hot product, the hot sector, the hot story? That question puts you in the crowd, betting on which car wins the race. The better question, the toll booth question, is this. Whatever people end up buying, what does that purchase have to pass through? What rail does the money ride? Who verifies the trade? Whose standard defines the market? Who owns the moment of discovery? Answer those 4 questions for any industry, and you'll find the businesses that get paid no matter who wins. Products come and go. Fortunes are made and burned on the road, but the booth collects in both directions. This has been Quiet Bull. The market rewards patience. It punishes noise. Choose accordingly.